Welcome to Business Digest, your weekly show that covers business-related issues which include market trends, economic developments, as well as analysis from experts. I'm Pauline Duguelo, and in today's episode we're talking banking, specifically ecosystem banking. To help shed more light onto this issue, I have Absa, Bank of Botswana, Head of Ecosystem Banking, Mr. Harold Matenge. Mr. Matenge, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good day, Pauline.
Good day, sir. Briefly tell us about your career background leading to this appointment.
Yes. Interestingly, I have only ever worked for one industry. That is the banking industry. I have been in banking for over 20 years now, this past April. So in fact, it's 20 years and a couple of months now and counting. I started out in 2004 as a graduate trainee with one of the local banks. I believe banks still do offer the graduate program. It was a very holistic introduction to banking. I remember when I finished at varsity, all I wanted to do was to be an ambassador. I wanted to work in foreign affairs, and then somehow there was this adverts around graduate trainee program that was being offered. I applied for it, was granted an opportunity for an interview. I did the interview, and here we are 20 years later. So I started out in the graduate program, like I said, which basically introduced us as fresh graduates into the world of banking. So we went through all of it, including retail banking, your risk departments, investment banking, markets, treasury. So all in all, the program took you through 2 years of a full introduction to banking. Post that, you then decided where you wanted to settle in terms of being a banker. So all I've ever known was just, being a banker. That's all I've ever been. I've worked through 4 banks in this country so far, and that's really my career. I've only ever worked in one industry.
Oh,
yes,
20 years. You've gained quite a lot of experience. What are some of your career highlights in terms of personal growth?
It's been a long journey, very interesting journey, and I think we've seen a lot of evolution in the banking space. Some of the things that I pride myself in, having succeeded at or having been a part of. I was one of the team that set up actually Botswana's first private bank when we were back at First National Bank of Botswana. This was back in the day, and I happened to have the opportunity to also be, recruited by the then bank ABC, when they were moving from merchant banking into now commercial banking. Commercial banking, we mean where you become now a fully fledged bank. You have retail banking, where Botswana our bank handiloni, corporate banking, which speaks to the organizations, SMMEs, and big corporates. So I was part of the team that was recruited to come and help Bank ABC then to set up a retail bank, to become a fully fledged commercial bank. And one of the things that I was tasked with was setting up a home loans department. So I was tasked with recruiting members for the team, setting up the product, and also ensuring that we built up series with processes within the teams, integrating our counterparts, credit, marketing, and just building up this value proposition of home loans. So that perhaps is actually one of my biggest and proudest moments in my banking career, And I think one of the things that we did, which, I still speak of today, is that as part of that value proposition, Haraleko Bank ABC then, which is now called Access, like I said, we introduced the first ever 100% home loan product. And this, for me, was an entry strategy that we employed to say, kana Motswana Motswana ke motho dumela mo what we call established brands. Motswana na itse re gona le dibanka tsa maina a leng teng. So ha re ntse re bua internally gore what really can we do to convince Motswana that we mean business who are here to actually provide and help make their lives better. So I made a proposal to the senior leadership, and I remember at some point I was told, right, it's your head on the block. But I was adamant that this will probably fly. So we introduced this 100% home loan product, which really took off. And it was at a time when I remember Botswana Housing Corporation in Isatsoho heads at the Pakalani development. So, and if you look at the target market at the time, it was really your young executives, your middle class. So the uptake was really good. In fact, it exceeded our expectations, if I do say so myself, in that a lot of people were clearly looking for access to home finance, but there was always that challenge, deposit. As you know, in banking, whether you are buying a vehicle, you are buying a house, there's always that aspect there on deposit. Now, if you look at home finance, if you are buying a house at 1 million pula, you are looking at paying 100,000. How no little manana or a young couple, let's not deposit you. Merely adamant that or really serious, you want the house. We financed it for you back then.
Getting into the topic of today, what does ecosystem banking entail?
Yes, Pauline, and thanks for that question. I think this has been the buzzword, right? And I know there is a lot of interpretation around what ecosystem banking. May I like to be honest and break it down in the most simple of terms. Ecosystem banking is exactly that. We are looking at what we call value chain banking. If I'm to just unbundle it and say, we at Absa, we've realized banking of today is completely different. And if we are to be in good position for banking of the future, we need to be able to be proactive in terms of our approach, in terms of solutioning our clients, in terms of ensuring that we are in tandem with where the market is going. So ecosystem banking is a value proposition we've introduced as Absa to say we are going to amalgamate our relationships across all our business units. So in terms of business units, I'm speaking to our corporate and investment banking, which is commonly known as CIB in the banking landscape. We're looking at our business and commercial banking, which really speaks to our SMME customers. We're also looking at retail banking, which now speaks to the individual walk-in, myself and you, Pauline. So now, from an ecosystem perspective, the approach is to say we are going to do what we call sweating a client. So sweating a client in Hekore, Hanka Eba, Kasatwana, Korre, maximize the relationship, the opportunity, the demo customer arona, and then make sure customer lane also with great benefit. Okay. If I'm to just break down example, what we call a corporate entity. A corporate entity then becomes our anchor client. Organization. In simple terms. Organization whether organization operator mo industry ya mining kana ya technology kana ya production kana ya manufacturing. Real Absa level organization as a whole. Under our corporate and investment banking wing, we are going to bank organization from a strategic point to say what is the organization looking at doing, what is its strategy for growth, and what industry is it operating in, and what other industries does it look at. So as an organization, you can even say an organization in this instance as an individual entity rates, and we bank it under our CIB space. And then for the organization, we then introduce our value proposition ecosystem to say, we want all of you as this organization. We have a conversation to say, who then are your critical suppliers and or distributors, depending on which industry this organization operates under. So if you look at this organization, let's take an example, like organization manufacturing or production. Yes, right, yes ma'am. So under that, so this organization will probably have Pauline, will have Harold, will have Mutusi, by supply the raw materials.
Okay, sir. Hold on to that. Okay. It's a conversation, Aaron.
Okay. Thank you.
While going for a quick commercial break, we'll be back.
Have you downloaded BW News app? Your one-stop shop for Botswana's leading newspapers. If not, what are you waiting for? Start reading the print editions of Botswana's leading newspapers as they appear in the newspapers on any device. The BW News app features the Midweek Sun, Botswana Guardian, Mmegi, and the Monitor, updated in an easy-to-flip-through format once the papers are printed. Our packages include current affairs, which creates seamless access for one organizational setup. You can add up to 100 users at affordable rates. After subscription, you will have access to our PDF archive from the past 1 year. You will also receive notifications on your phone as soon as the newspapers publish. You can open your favorite title and share it in text format, and also change the font size and screen light to your choosing. Too busy to flip through and read? The BW News app will read the article for you, and it can also translate from English to the language you're comfortable with. Get the BW News app from the Google Play Store and the App Store and enter a world of up-to-date news presented as it appears in the physical paper.
Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Mr. Matenge. We're still talking ecosystem banking. Mr. Matenge,
yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I think maybe just to give a simplified approach to what ecosystem banking. What we are doing at Absa now, we are stopping in terms of operating in what we call the silos. In banking, we tell our how within an organization, kitabekele herald, ke na le customer nyami, kai banka, me customer ile organization, baberki ba ba ko kai di supplier tsa ndi ko kai. And mo Absa, what we are doing ke we are bringing all our business units into one place and say na le customer ki, let's ensure that we provide opportunities and value for this customer by making sure banka, the anchor client being the corporate, also financially supplier the company, so they keep this company going. Harson supply the financially supplier at distributor at level la hotel ba very kiba mo company who make sure our company as a whole in totality it continues moving forward. So ke one ecosystem approach where client engwe make sure gore na le relationship ile from a corporate and investment banking perspective, from a business and commercial banking perspective, even from a retail and individual banking perspective.
It also appears that banks are also changing the way they approach their customers. What are you saying?
Nobody change Paul. Nobody change we know conventionally that banks there was this whole approach, from the banking industry that a customer needs us more than we need the customer. So banks were just this big intimidating buildings. But we have seen a lot of changes over time in that the customer one by two, they do a lot of research. So over and above that, approach ecosystem mo Absa ke one re lemotsitse gone gore ga gongwe ga re thuse di customer tsa rona in exactly what they want, because customer wa malatsia or the customer of today wants for a proactive approach. They appreciate a bank that really understands their business, a bank that takes total interest into their business, their operations, and also into their strategy. This is what we have seen, and this is what has compelled us as Absa to also say, look, how do we then ensure that we have our customers remaining sticky, not moving to other banks, continuing to remain our customers. So we've realized that this is the approach that actually helps us in terms of making sure we provide services end-to-end value for our customers and also for ourselves within the bank. Moving away from operating in isolation and looking at what we call a big picture approach. So ecosystem banking really speaks to that, because today's customer wants that, a big picture approach, only proactive in terms of homo solution, that speaks to them.
So reception, how has it been?
So the market has actually appreciated what we have come up with, especially if you look at organizations. Organizations have actually given us feedback to say, let's say in fact let's provide a solution in Tia. Organization okay, come so di contract mama or hameti mama or rekelas mama or provide a uniform jalo. Ming resa kono ba twisa boni supplier to tsarna or baka ko kai. Yeah, no, this ecosystem approach, it has actually opened up more avenues for these organizations. Now they know okay, nya ming hare na le di vendor or the supplier na mo listing elebo Pauline elebo Mutusi elebo Smama jano harba hadi di contract or bar supply ka sennan ka bar direl sennan real organization X right or nyao pompien ba khona go thusa ke Absa yano lor na ka re tswa gakala le bone ra khona go ba guarantee to senya Absa me Pauline ene le ka Mutusa la mo supporta gore a khone gore supporta le rona re khone go tswella. And then over and above that, organization me kana ba bereki ba gago yana ba no ba receiver tse Paulina di support and ba di bereka ba se turn into your product. How then can we take care of them? So organizations have said, look, now this is what we want, a bank that provides for me solution all in one basket.
Okay, sir. What role does technology play in banking?
So technology is everything, and I think it goes without saying that we are here now and there is no going back. we've seen technology bring in very interesting aspects of, data analysis. If you look at our security protocols, they have since changed. If you look at what artificial intelligence have also come into and introduced into our space. Nowadays, we don't have the analytics. Data analytics is everything in banking. Boholo banking, whereby banka re run a campaign ya insurance kana re campaign ra swipe and win. So Malatia, we use what we call analytics, and analytics really comes from technology where you have your tools within the bank what we call client monitoring. The monitor the patterns that the customer how do they use their money, what times of the month do they use their money, how do organizations actually engage in terms of procurement. So technology plays a great part because it helps us and gives us information so that we are able to approach the customer really targeted and reba hari solution tse lor ba di sologetse se mo tang re ba akanyetsa e be ile gore ba itlela no me bone ke sengwe se lor ga ba se bate. So, because like I said earlier, today's customer is a clued up customer. What are
the advantages of technology companies linking up with banks?
So this we have seen quite a lot of positivity come out of this, because now as banks we are traditionally deposit takers and then we give out credit. Now what technology companies have come in and provided for us, technology, they've made it easier for our customers to transact. Right now, you look at the partnerships we have as the banking industry with some of these technological firms, the MNOs, the fintech, they have made lives easier in that as we move away from body brick and mortar, as we move into the future of banking, these partnerships provide us with a lot of expertise, a lot of secure platforms for our customers to continue to be able to transact their banking at the comfort of their own homes, whilst on travel, and wherever really that they wish to do their banking. Look at how Malatia were even able to open an account remotely. You don't have to come to any bank or account you are even able to do that. So this comes from the partnerships that we have with the fintech, with the MNOs to provide solution that speaks to the needs of today's customer.
Okay, so yes, we're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be back.
Do you want to stay in touch with the up-to-the-minute breaking news, countrywide, regional and international coverage, as well as in-depth analysis from Botswana's most trusted media house? Then head over to www.mmegi.bw, where you can also enjoy access to premium articles, long reads, features, and exclusive opinions. Whether you're looking for updates on politics, health, education, business, and the economy, or sports, and many more, we have you covered. Sign up on the website and choose a package suitable for you. We also have packages for organizations at affordable rates. Visit www.mmegi.bw and enjoy the finest journalism and news you need to know.
Welcome back. We continue our conversation with Mr. Matenge. Mr. Matenge, artificial intelligence. How can Botswana prepare for the growing role of artificial intelligence?
Thank you, Pauline. In fact, truth of the matter is, if Botswana are not yet prepared, we are a bit late, because AI is already here. Maybe for Botswana, if you look at some of the efficiencies that we've introduced, really the banker, for instance, Absa, we have what we call Abi. Abi is our virtual assistant, where our customers are able to just go online, so the truth of the matter is that AI is here to stay, in fact, and it's going to only get better. So for Botswana, we need to accept, we need to start bringing ourselves closer to understanding what AI is and what it is bringing, because at the end of the day, it is bringing a lot of streamlining of the processes. Previously, Botswana na complain or nowadays we have virtual assistants, you have chat bots that last for about 24 hours, providing service around the clock. You know, Botswana male madi wa lapa wa robala wa chaisa. But what AI has done for us is really to streamline the process and bring about a lot of efficiency that also speaks to the customer of today.
Emma. As much as it brings convenience, shouldn't we be worried about our jobs?
There's always been an argument that technical advancement is a threat to mankind. But what you realize, technology brings a lot of efficiency, but what it also does on the upscale is that it helps us as batho, as baberekile upscale, so that we move into other spaces. You see, technology, remember, it can never necessarily be a threat to the Turotaro, because what it does, it brings in efficiency. Then it says for Baba move into the spaces to do something else. But Baba will also get ideas from existing technologies to be able to evolve and set up other technologies that also help the world move forward.
What other trends do you expect to emerge in the banking industry in the near future?
Tota, where we are right now, I think we've seen how banking has evolved. It evolves almost on a daily basis. Now we're at a point where the world is talking sustainability, the world is talking ESG, jalo jalo. So we're seeing also a lot of changing in the banking financing landscape. Malatia rebuya ka sustainability finance, real Absa ne re sa tswa launch a sustainability bond ko mo Botswana Stock Exchange, which really speaks to getting the organization what we call the KPI, or for our organizations to look into how they operate within the environment, how they play their part from a social space, from a governance space, even from a people's perspective. So banking is evolving, the future of banking is changing, but over and above that, there's been this interesting aspect of bringing climate change, bringing climate awareness, bringing global climate conversations into the space of banking. And we as the banking industry have also taken it onto our table to say we're going to play a part and also help our stakeholders recognize this reality and play their part.
What are your final thoughts in terms of banking technology being developed as well as ecosystem?
So I would want to say thanks, Pauline, and basically speak to how we as Absa actually decided to finally say ecosystem banking. As Absa, we actually have been voted the best SME bank. One of the things that we've done in perfection is to be a bank that was deliberate in our approach to finding and financing the SME and recognize what SMEs are the future of this country. This is what also pushed our proposition in our ecosystem to say now, the SME is already funded, it's already tusang hoakopil. Di supply bomang, or who are the off-takers of the product that's what they produce. And we have realized this then helps us to bring in the company or the organization or the SMEs. And also it opened up the conversation in our the company. So this is what we have done as Absa to say, let's have a value chain on one entity. Is supposed to like Absa throughout. Let's have a value chain, whether someone like the supplier being the SME, whether someone like the individuals. The scheme. The scheme is what is normally used to say how find you an individual. Now, as ecosystem banking, we introduce an organization to a corporate relationship. We introduce the supplier that's when being the SME to value chain or supplier development financing, and then introduce that organization into the scheme, where we are able to give them the loan, you are able to give them we are able to give them financing for the koloi, insurance, the funeral cover, jalo jalo. So as Absa, we offer what we call total banking or wholesome banking for our entities, for our SMEs, and even for our individual customers.
How do you see ecosystem banking aiding to the performance of Absa Bank Botswana?
So what ecosystem banking is actually doing for us, like I said previously, it's giving us big picture banking. Our approach now is no longer to say, keleba retail banking, rebata scheme ko skolon se kana organization ni narabani scheme sarna resiam. Then it means another institution or another bank is going to come in and say, Narta to say this applies organization. So ecosystem banking, what it's doing for us is bringing all of us together. Remover from operating in silos or operate individual business units. Level organization, Rotary okay, organization. And what it does, or the result of that, is that all of us across the value chain, so we're able to play our part in terms of ensuring customer in terms of ensuring our relationship is now mutually beneficial across the bank internally and even for the client. The client does not have to look anywhere else for other banking service and or assistance because Absa offers the full suite.
Okay, Matenge, how can you sum up the impacts of ecosystem banking, and then what are the advantages in value chain?
No, thanks, Pauline. So ecosystem banking, it's here to stay. In fact, it's our new approach, really, Absa. This is part of our customer value proposition where we're saying, your story matters. Okay. We have this new tagline, your story matters. And in this now, we are saying to our client in the corporate space, in the business and commercial banking space to say, our approach to you has changed. We are going to be looking at you wholesome as our client. We want to ensure that you continue thriving in any industry that you are operating in. We want to ensure that we support your strategy, we support your growth, but over and above that, we add value to your employees, your supplier chain, jalo. So that is really the essence of ecosystem banking. If you look at the fact that Absa, we have the widest branch network in the country, this also puts us in a very good position because from an SME financing perspective, we are the market leader. We also allow our SMEs to even visit our branches where we have colleagues who are now doing SME banking to be able to expand further to our SME clients in terms of what exactly are we doing around enterprise supply development. I spoke earlier, we financed a lot of SMEs who have actually carried most of these organizations because SME hands ba financial ba provider mongwe ka service. Hands ba provider the organization or the entity ka service. Now, with our ecosystem approach, we want to say, we want to support the SMEs to thrive. We want to support the individuals behind the SMEs to thrive. We want to support the organizations that receive services from these SMEs to thrive. Over and above that, support the individuals within those organizations to continue thriving. So that is really our approach, real Absa, to say everybody's story matters. And we are there to support and listen to each and every story, put it on a pedestal, read the story, unpack it, and provide value that is long lasting.
Thank you so much, Matenge.
Thank you.
The future of banking is ecosystem banking, and Absa is that future. Until we meet again next week, I'm Pauline Dikuelo from me and my team.